Becoming is better than being, and that's precisely why we consider ourselves to be a work in progress. It means that you are never complete, and you always have the opportunity to become something and someone better.
It allows you the ability to be comfortable with making mistakes and accepting yourself for who you are.
Indeed, we are a work in progress. Hi, I'm Aya.
I am GK.
And I am Krusem.
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
So how are you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
Ready for our first segment of the day?
Yeah.
Yes, take it away.
So today we're introducing a segment called Hot Take. It's a very simple notion. Each of us, everyone in the world, has opinions that others would consider to be controversial in essence.
Yes.
So the aim of us is each of us once in a while to bring a topic that we think we are being judged for and have it discussed in the panel and hear the audience, what the audience has to say as well. So today the hot take is going to be done by the leader of this group, Mr. GK himself. GK, welcome to take the hot take. So my hot take is very simple. Hard work is overrated.
Okay.
You get it? What I've realized is in the past, we have been trained, we've sort of been programmed by people to seek hard work. That hard work is the bringer of all good things. When you're a child, you're trained to work hard so that you can get to the best schools, so that you can become the most successful. When you're in positions, you're told the way that you move forward is through hard work. And while I do accept that hard work is a part of the formula to success, I don't think it's the most important formula. So I'm going to give you guys, number one of the people who agrees with me. His name is Rutger Bregman. He's the author of the book Utopia for Realists. So he has a chapter called chapter 15, which predicts, the chapter is called the 15-hour work week. And he basically predicts that a lot of the work we do today doesn't even matter. He says that the world until the 1980s was understanding that the evolutionary process was for us to reduce our levels of work, get what they call universal basic income, so you get money just to live, and you move forward with that. So John Maynard Keynes, who he references in the book, had suggested by the year 2030, working life would be 15 hours. 15 hours a week. So now there are people in this world who work 15 hours a day. But now we are working to a world where we live 15 hours a week. And so I agree with that notion in its totality. I believe that work has been structured in our brains that we have to do things. We do jobs which are not necessarily important because our brains tell us that work is the most important. In fact, our religious institutions tell us the same thing. Our schools tell us the same thing. But I do not agree. What do you guys think?
Is the issue work or hard work?
Hard work.
Hard work.
Yes.
So hard work like hard labor?
Hard work comes in many different forms. It can be hard labor, someone who's plowing a field and working on a rice farm. It could be something like a consultant working 15 hours a day trying to get projects done. That's also considered hard work.
Because I'm a human being and human beings are inherently lazy, I'll agree with you. Hard work might be slightly overrated. Because sometimes our attention spans, they don't last that long. So I think maybe if we had, this is just me talking to my boss, hopefully he's listening. If we had like, let's say 5-hour work days, for example, you know you have 5 hours to deliver on a certain task or a certain thing, I think you'd work better knowing that your time is kind of structured and it's kidogo, as opposed to giving people 8-10 hours. Sometimes a lot of man hours is lost in between, and maybe that again goes against my point of hard work. You're not working hard, you're hardly working, something like that. Okay. So, I mean, to bring it home, I do think sometimes, not always, hard work might be overrated. Not everyone who works hard is rich. If that was the case, donkeys would be the wealthiest animals in the world.
Yes, what do you think?
Oh no, I completely agree. Hard work is completely overrated, but obviously I'm going to agree with it for rather leftist reasons. And like my reasons are valid just because you disagree with the lean of them. Anyway, so the reason why I think hard work is overrated is because, well, first of all, in overemphasizing and hyping up the value of hard work, you end up demonizing the people who you consider to be idle. And sometimes idleness is not by virtue of like a choice. It's because society has not yet adapted to incorporate you into the everyday life, like disabled people. A lot of people give them flack for not working hard enough, when the truth is society hasn't enabled them. Enabled them to actually maximize their potential. That's one. Two, I also think hard work is overrated because now it's taken on this weird weird moral dimension in that if you fail to work hard, you're somehow a bad person. When that's not the case.
In fact, there was a US motto that they used to like saying a lot. Was it pull yourself up by your bootstraps, signaling hard work as the giver of all things.
Yes. So I think just based on, I think at one point hard work is good when it's just the work itself. But when it becomes this political tool and it becomes this symbol, then it becomes a bit problematic, because then I feel like it's being overhyped.
So you guys have answered well one part of my question, but here's the other part that I wanted to stress on you guys as well. Do you believe that there are jobs that shouldn't exist but are just there to give people work? What do you think about that? Do you believe that?
Shut your mouth. Let everybody earn. That's such an elitist way of looking at things. Yeah? Don't ever say that again. Don't give people ideas. Let people earn their living however they're earning it, as long as it's a justified way of earning their living. It's not illegal. Let them do whatever they want to do. There's no work that is too important and work that is not important. Whatever it is that they're doing, let it continue. Let people earn their living. And GK, don't ever say that again, please.
Noted. Hey, do you have anything to add to that point?
I think there are some jobs that will be obsolete. Some jobs that are obsolete. I can't name many right now, but I'm sure there are jobs that are obsolete.
They will be obsolete.
I mean, for example, I would argue that Facebook's content moderators, they basically have obsolete jobs because Facebook isn't really doing anything with information they're given.
Wow.
So, sometimes being obsolete isn't a matter of your job
not being important.
Yeah, it's because nobody's really listening to what you're producing from your job. So
okay. So let me give you guys a scenario which will touch on another point that Chris M talked about. That is not about jobs not mattering. Okay. So Chris M, you asked me when I give the hard work, you said, is it like plowing a field or
hard labor?
Yeah, is it hard labor or anything? So I'll give you guys a scenario that Rutger Bregman also brought. Okay. So this is the scenario. In 1960s, there were 2 strikes. Okay, in the 60s and the 70s. One was a strike of garbage collectors. And the second was a strike on banking strike. So guess which one was more important?
Banking.
Garbage.
Why garbage?
Everyone produces garbage. Not everyone uses the banking sector. So, I think.
So now the funny thing is, he's right.
Oh.
So in New York, there was a garbage collecting strike, and it lasted, I think it was 7 days.
Okay.
In 7 days, the country had to, the state had to declare a state of emergency. It was that bad. Now the banking strike, this was in the Netherlands. They did that strike for months. For months. The government didn't move. In fact, they went back to the table based on needing work. So do you guys think that we've sort of not thought out well what work represents? Like we give more power to certain jobs and less power to other jobs.
Yes. Yes.
What do you think about that? Explain.
No, there's nothing to explain. I think the point is rather simple. It's we now live in a world in which you don't have to work the hardest, put in the most amount of effort to be paid the most. Otherwise, as Chris Sam said, the donkey would be the richest animal in the animal kingdom, and that's just not the way it is. I've often sat and thought about like why I'm making the amount of money that I'm making, and I'm not complaining. Honestly, I'm not complaining. I'm just wondering why not a garbage person, why not a garbage cleaner? Yeah, why not a cashier? Like they are on their feet for 12 hours a day, having to deal with customers, and to be honest, customers kind of suck. Like they put in the hard work. So what's the difference between what they're doing and what I'm doing? And the difference is the value society places on what I'm doing.
Okay. Chris, anything to add on that?
No, it's, what she said, spot on. I think we tend to turn our noses up at small jobs, and you look at a garbage collector, like you're dealing in trash the whole day, so who cares about you? But it's until this person strikes and there's no one to take away your garbage for a day, for a week, for a month, that you start seeing the importance of this person. You see people who clear out our sewer systems. These jobs that nobody wants to do, but if people stopped doing those jobs, society to some extent would almost screech to a halt. So I think we need to reevaluate, but unfortunately we will never be at a level where we are treated fairly or equally, but just know from from me to you,
yeah.
I value you. I respect the job that you do,
okay.
and I do know your place and your importance in our society and in keeping our society running and being a civilized and normal society.
Preach. So,
yes.
We're just about to take a break. Before we do, I'll just explain that the goal of hard work is, of course, success. So after the break, we're going to have a discussion about the concept of success from a different perspective. Okay. So we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Work in Progress. Now, before we head over into a discussion about success and the themes around it, there's a question that I asked sort of in the break that I thought I had to ask you guys in front of everybody, okay? So it's very simple. If you guys had the opportunity to not work,
yes,
would you take it?
Yeah.
100%?
In a heartbeat.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
When I was in Sunday school, yeah?
Oh my God.
When I was in Sunday school, my Sunday school teacher, when he was reading about the creation theory, the creation, he told us that God gave Adam and Eve everything they ever needed.
Yes.
And they were not supposed to work. They were supposed to enjoy all the plentiful gifts that God had given them in the Garden of Eden, right? And when Eve disobeyed, and in turn brought the disobedience back to the husband, Adam,
okay.
As a form of punishment, God told them, you will now have to work and toil the land for you to have your daily bread.
Yes.
Now, me, in my small brain, I interpreted that to mean work is a form of punishment. When God created our bodies, these bodies, they're not meant to work.
Okay.
So we are misappropriating these bodies. We're supposed to chill,
enjoy life,
Netflix and chill, eat your fruits, eat everything and relax and enjoy life.
Okay.
Work is a form of punishment.
So to counter that, then what counts as work is like, I mean, forgive my French, but is going to the bathroom work? Because you still are technically working. Is doing your chores work?
Yes.
Is feeding your family work?
That's work for my innards, but not for me. There's two small things like Adam. I'm sure he was supposed to name the animals, supposed to go and pluck fruits. I mean, if you want to qualify that as work, that's work.
So shouldn't the question then be more than no work? It is purposeful work. Work that has a purpose. My job is to name the animals. That is a purpose, to give them names. So hard work is not necessarily the problem, or work. It's that we don't focus on our purpose, why we're here on earth.
I mean, for a mason, his purpose is to build a home, right?
Yes.
That's hard work. It's hard work. So sometimes the two can actually
interconnect. And is it a bad thing? Is it a bad thing then?
Not a bad thing. I mean, if you find purpose in your work, well and good. If you're a trust fund kid, for example, I wish I was. That's the life. If you win the jackpot, enjoy that. You're not supposed to work. But I mean, society nowadays, we are told they glorify hard work, and that's okay. That's good. That's the society we live in.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, not working is not shameful as long as you can provide for yourself and those that depend on you.
Okay, so that's where we're going to now cut that conversation and go into the conversation on success.
Okay.
So the way we're going to do it is each of us have selected one person that we consider to be successful. We'll give a bit of the story, just a brief part of the story of the person, and then from there we'll each try and see what themes correlate around it to define what we consider as successful. Okay. So AX, why don't you begin?
So I actually have two people.
Okay, well done.
Thank you very much. So the first is a fictional thing, this fictional character. His name is Ted Lasso. Don't you make that face.
Yeah.
Okay. His name is Ted Lasso. He is a fictional American football coach who is sent to England to coach a Premier League team.
Yes.
Tottenham and all that.
Yes, Tottenham and all that, yes.
Yeah.
And to be honest, he sucks. Like, his team actually gets relegated to the next division tier after the Premier League, But I still think that he was successful because he was able to create a family from his team. He was able to turn his club into a family. Every single player under his tenure has personally improved as well. So I think that's like one way of demonstrating alternative success. Then another one, her name is Tabitha Karingo. Okay. So for her, I think success is holding her ground, because in the 1950s, she was the kind of woman that really stood up for women's rights and making sure that women treated as equally as men. This was in the 1950s in Kirinyaga, amongst like very staunch traditional Kikuyus. Okay. So you know that she was ostracized from the community, you know that she was called bad names, but she held her ground. Yeah. So
Tabitha Karingo,
and Ted Lasso.
Who got his team relegated?
Who got his team relegated?
And that's success.
Hey, his team improved.
Chris, what is your what's your story? What's your success story?
My success story is from a okay, let me give you a backstory. So this gentleman, back in 2009, he went to this big corporation looking for a job. He was told, no thank you, kick rocks. Okay. Instead of him being all gloomy and like, he wrote a tweet and said, I'm looking forward to this next chapter of my life. Okay. Went on and developed something we called WhatsApp. His name is Brian Acton. Acton. Yeah? Okay. Him together with
his name.
Yeah, he's Brian Acton, and together with his friend Jean Com. Okay. A Ukrainian gentleman. Yeah. So what they did, they developed this app called WhatsApp. So when that door closed, him wanting to work for Facebook,
he opened the window.
The door.
He went and worked. Okay. He went and partnered with his friend Jack Com. Yeah. Built WhatsApp and made it so irresistible that Facebook came running to him
and bought it for him.
And bought it for an astronomical figure. It was $19 billion.
Never has to work a day in his life again.
Think about, yes, he doesn't have to work a day in his life anymore. Think about that. You've worked so hard that the person who didn't want anything to do with you comes running to you and gives you a large sum of money to take one of your inventions. Okay. I look at that, I'm like, yeah, that's success. That's success. He didn't go begging; they came begging. So
okay. So from your two stories, let's try and get the themes out before we get into mine. Okay. So Chris I think the story is one of the most important things. Yes. He started off by getting fired. Then he ended up by...
He wasn't fired.
Not fired, not even getting the job.
Not even getting, yeah. He used to work for Yahoo, left, went to Facebook, didn't even get the job. Was just told, no thank you, we'll call you, don't call us.
And now WhatsApp is so important that if it goes off for 6 hours, the whole world just wants to fall apart. So that's one of the things. The storyline has to be very important. Yes. AX, I got from yours is that the Ted Lasso one.
The team was relegated. That's what I got.
No. You need to let it go. Let it go. When you watch the show, you understand. You get to feel for the characters.
I think let me try and give you the thing. I think for you, it's he grows people. People become better under him. So even if the success is not necessarily...
It's not monetary.
It's not there at all.
It's not traditional success.
It's not traditional success. It's an alternative form.
So it's others that succeeded, not even him. Through him, they succeeded.
Him, people succeeded.
Okay. It's not the point of a coach.
Okay, so you have growing people and you have the story. Those are the two themes I've picked from those two. Yes. Okay, so let me give you my story.
Please.
This man was born in Muranga to a father who was part of the Mau Mau, but he was basically raised by a single mom. He went through a lot of struggles, but he was very bright in school. So then he got the opportunity to work for PwC, and then he worked for Ernst & Young, I think I've said it. Yeah. Yes, which are two of the biggest institutions in the world. But he decided to make the decision that he's not going to necessarily deal with this world, and he's going to try a different path. So what he did is he started his own bank. Okay. His bank is called?
Bank of Kenya.
Bank of Kenya, wow. Equity Bank. The man I'm talking about is James Mwangi. He's now, I think he was born in the 1960s. He's now one of the most successful people in Kenya. And he doesn't just have this success story, but you hear of initiatives like the Wings to Fly initiative and other things that give back to the people. Yes. And I think now Equity is, if not the biggest, the second biggest bank. They fight with KCB in the country. In East and Central Africa, and they're worth billions of dollars, but it just started with $100. That's what the safety was for the bank. So his story of rapid growth and involving a number of big people really took me aback. And that's why, and then you can catch him, by the way, on Kenya Part of the Dream, on 5th Estate, by the way, just a plug right there. So what do you guys think is the theme there in that one?
I mean, forgive me, but I don't want to identify the theme in that, but more so identify the themes in both of yours and contrast it to mine. Because whereas I presented an alternative model of success, both of you guys your guys are billionaires. So clearly,
Point taken.
I mean, no, like this is a legitimate question. It's a question I think people in our generation are really struggling with, because we don't have the trappings of success of our parents. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to buy a house, to be very honest. Looking at these prices, I don't think I'll be able to afford one. Does that mean I'm not successful? Therefore,
so we've been looking at success
from like a money perspective.
Money.
But therefore, I need to ask the question is, can you only be successful if you have money or something material to show for it?
You've actually shamed me, to be honest.
It wasn't intended to shame. It was just
no. It's a good thing. You shame me, to be honest, because I'm of the same opinion that many times we look at people with wealth and we sort of ignore all the wrongs that they've done because we define their success as the wealth, and so we look at them as our leaders. But many of the people we consider to be our leaders in this world may not have that monetary wealth, may have chosen not to obtain that monetary wealth to have greater impact. So you're right that maybe the word success has become synonymous with wealth.
Let me give you two definitions of success.
okay.
The Webster Dictionary defines success as the fact of getting or achieving wealth, respect, or fame.
Okay.
Now, the other definition is success is the state or condition of meeting a defined range of expectations. Now, the expectations are set by who? Society.
And society's expectations are?
Wealth, respect, and fame.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is this just a
no,
law?
defined by a range.
Okay.
A range of expectations. So these expectations might be wealth, respect,
Or fame.
or fame. Now, wealth can be gotten through
Ill-gotten,
yes. Respect, I don't know about respect, but fame also can be, you can
Respect
be
is always
infamous.
earned. Yeah.
Being infamous is also still famous, right? Al Capone is one of the most famous gangsters in the world.
But
what he did wasn't legal.
Yeah.
Was he successful?
Yeah. No, yeah, he was, because if I may,
Yes.
if success is the fact of getting or achieving
Wealth.
success or fame, or it's the state or condition of meeting a defined range of expectations, technically a lot of people, good and bad, have been successful. For example, if your goal is to commit a genocide, then I would imagine the guys who did the Armenian genocide were successful.
Okay.
Like, it's not...
I see that one. Because of the fame, King Leopold and him killing over 10 million Congolese people.
For their wealth.
I mean, he's famous. Hitler to date.
God damn it,
Hitler
I
to
knew
date.
this is where it's gonna
it's
go.
true. To date, Hitler is not known for anything good he did in Germany.
I don't like where
He's
you're
known for
going
the
with
ills
this.
that he did, right?
Yeah.
So fame can be both positive and negative.
Okay.
And for that, his name lives on forever.
Yes.
So if you can't be famous doing a good thing,
So what is
Be the
success?
baddest
so what is
person in the world.
for you, Al Capone successful?
very successful. During the Prohibition era, he provided a service that was needed to people. I mean, he was a hero to them.
I think what you've done is you've made me realize that maybe we've failed to think of what defines success. To us, to many young people, they look at the celebrities that exist in the world. They see their money, they see their influence, they see their impact, and they don't care about the story about how they got there. I remember there was an interview I was watching with a famous rapper, and he said he was trying to tell people don't sell drugs like I did. But the funny thing is the response by everyone was, you sold drugs and became successful.
Yeah, so why wouldn't
I sell drugs and become successful? So maybe we need to rethink what we define success as.
And I think most importantly, as we're reconsidering our definitions of success, remember that what success looks like for me will not be what success looks like for you.
Yeah.
So just remember that success is very personal. It's not about, competing and comparing yourself with the person who's running the same race as you. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, am I a better person? Am I in a better place? Am I in a better condition than I was yesterday? And if the answer is yes, then I think in my books, that's a measure of success you should pat yourself on the back for and celebrate yourself.
It's true, because when I think of success, I think of basic needs.
Yeah.
Some of the basic needs in human life are food, shelter, clothing, maybe education and some other things.
And also like community.
Yeah, but if you have food, if you have shelter, and you have clothing, you're successful. There's some people in today's society
who haven't achieved that.
Who haven't, but let's look at people who have achieved it, yeah? There's someone who doesn't have to worry about where the next meal is going to come from.
Yes.
This person doesn't have to worry about paying rent or clothes on his back. But society does not judge him as successful because, for example, maybe he lives in a one-bedroom apartment, which he has to pay rent for. Now, this person, whereas he can do that, and there's someone who's homeless, he will not feel successful because society is telling him, but it's just a one-bedroom house. There's another guy living in a three-bedroom house. people still judge him and tell him, in your standards, you'll be living in a mansion, in a standalone house. So just like AX said, success is supposed to be inward. Look at yourself, look at what you have achieved. Are you comfortable? I mean, you can always work to get more, but be appreciative of what you have now and know that that's a step that you've taken in life, and success only has to matter to you, not anyone else.
That is a very profound place to end today's episode. Thank you so much for watching Work in Progress, and we will be here with you like we always are next time.
Bye.